I wanted to get into this story here on the Sports Cubicle with the marvelous one, Dan Marver, Devin Tingle, Paul Chivari, and myself, Mike Mercado. This has, I think, frustrated a lot of sports fans, has concerned a lot of sports fans, has had a lot of sports fans kind of scratching their head. And I think for a lot of people, they want to stay away from bad faith arguments. They want to make sure they have all their information, in order, and they don't want to say anything dumb. But this whole Ja Morant situation has gotten really strange. And this comes to us from Tim McMahon over at ESPN. Ja Morant suspended after video shows Grizzly star with a gun. The Memphis Grizzlies have suspended Ja Morant from all team activities after a video showing the star guard holding a gun began circulating on social media Saturday night. The Grizzlies announced the suspension, which is pending a league review, in a statement Sunday, 2 months after the NBA suspended Morant over a similar incident. The team did not provide any further comments. Quote, "We are aware of the social media posts involving Ja Morant and are in the process of gathering more information," NBA spokesperson Mike Bass said in a statement Sunday. Down the article a little bit, Morant left the Grizzlies and entered a counseling program in March after a video showed him holding a gun while intoxicated at a Denver club when Grizzlies were in town to play the Nuggets. He was eventually suspended 8 games after meeting with NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, who called Morant's conduct irresponsible, reckless, and potentially very dangerous. At the time of the suspension, Morant told ESPN in an interview that he realizes, quote, "what I have to lose," and said he would try to be, quote, "more responsible, more smarter, and stay away from all bad decisions," end quote. And this also comes after several off-the-court issues that are mentioned here in the article. He is being sued by a high school prospect after a fight broke out during a pickup game in Morant's backyard, where Morant and Pack were alleged to have punched the boy in the head. The teenager told police that Morant entered his house after the fight and came back outside with a gun in his waistband. And then we also know the incident that happened with the Indiana Pacers and the laser pointer and just how crazy that was. This story gets even crazier because Adam Silver spoke with the media. This comes to us again from Tim McMahon over at ESPN.com. Grizzlies on Sunday suspended Ja Morant from all offseason activities pending the league's office reviews of the video that surfaced over the weekend, less than 2 months after Morant and Silver met to discuss a similar incident that resulted in an 8-game suspension. Quote, "Honestly, I was shocked when I saw this weekend that video," Silver told ESPN's Malika Andrews from the NBA's draft lottery Tuesday in Chicago. "Now we're in the process of investigating it and we'll figure out exactly what happened to the best we can. The video is a bit grainy and all that, but I'm assuming the worst." In the wake of Silver's interview with ESPN, Morant released a statement through his representatives, his first public statement since the video was posted over the weekend. Quote, "I know I've disappointed a lot of people who have supported me," Morant said in the statement. "This is a journey and I recognize there is more work to do. My words may not mean much right now, but I'll take full accountability for my actions. I'm committed to continue to work on myself." And quote. So a lot to unpack there and a lot to kind of digest. And I think it would be foolish to say that we're going to figure it all right here. I think it'd be foolish to say that Devin, Paul, Marver, myself are going to be able to talk this to a point where we're never going to have situations like this again. I think the starting point on this conversation with Ja Morant is to eliminate the bad faith arguments that you're seeing all over social media, where you have far-leaning right and far-leaning left trying to use this as a political tool, as a political poll, as a political movement. One side saying, look, he's just exercising his Second Amendment rights. And the other is he's a danger to society. When there's probably something much more serious going on. What is going on with Ja Morant? We know that he's going to say these things via his representatives on having responsibility, being accountable, what he has to lose, what he means to the community. But I think what's important is this a young man who's self-destructive? Is this a young man who is putting himself in situations that put others in danger? We are so quick to give the star, the celebrity, the benefit of the doubt, and that the rest of the community is what's putting them in danger, making them make bad decisions. What if this is the other way around? What if Ja Morant is the guy, the person, the human, putting other lives in danger, in bad situations, in places where consequences have actual meaning? Life and death. No joke. Not just social media postings of Ben Simmons watching the Sixers get eliminated. This is real world stuff. What if this is the consequence of somebody making a lot of money, trying to portray a character, or growing into something that is not good, that is not beneficial to himself, to his family, and his community, let alone his team and organization? There is so much to unpack about this, but my main concern is that we focus on the right stuff. Gun culture in this country, it doesn't matter. The pendulum swings so many different ways. Whether you're a diehard gun enthusiast, a gun lover, a Second Amendment lover, a Second Amendment hater, a person who believes that every gun is a weapon of mass destruction, a person who believes that every gun should be destroyed. The pendulum swings all different ways, but it doesn't change the fact of what the core of this conversation is, what the conversation of this young man is. And let's say, okay, let's take away the malice that John might hurt somebody. He might hurt himself. If not in a self-harm thing, again, we never know what's going on in somebody's brain. But we've seen superstar athletes hurt themselves with fireworks, let alone guns at nightclubs. It takes one bad decision, one mistake. And let's say he is a gun enthusiast, right? Nothing wrong with that. Greatest country in the world, you can do what you want as long as you do it safely. That's not doing it safely. So you can't even have gun lovers go out there and defend them. You're not doing it properly. And you can't have people saying, oh, it was just one bad mistake. Boys will be boys. He's a young man. He's making the same continuous mistake on top of other things. It's not like putting hands on people, something he hasn't allegedly done. This is all encompassing. This is not just oh my goodness, this dude is waving a gun. That's one symptom of whatever the illness is going on right now in Ja Morant. One of the best players in the NBA. A player I would love if all things were equal. Everything was cool. Everything, being honest, I would love for him to be a Chicago Bull. The most important thing for Ja Morant is not to be releasing statements. It's not to be around team activities. It's to get right mentally. This is a 23-year-old in Memphis. Millions among hundreds of millions of dollars at his disposal. This is somebody who needs to find himself, needs to find some form of peace, needs to find some form of stability. Basketball is the way he is going to fund his life, and now he's generationally wealthy. But what does that mean if you're putting yourself in danger, if you're not around to see it? If you hurt somebody around you and they're not able to see it? If you put somebody in a situation that you care about and they're not around to see it? I think for Ja Morant, the most important thing, and this is bird's eye view, right? I don't know the young man. I think the most important thing to do is, if you're a gun enthusiast, if you love the culture, do it correctly, do it safely. You have the money, you can. Enjoy yourself. But if you're not, if you're doing this for an image, if you're doing this for some form of security, there are so many different avenues, so many different outlets, so many different ways in which you can help the community. You can provide jobs, and you can still live the lifestyle you would like to. You do work hard. You have earned that money. You have earned the opportunity and the right to live it and enjoy the life that you have made for yourself. And maybe you don't want, like other young athletes or young entrepreneurs who aren't athletes, who are just living everyday lives, making their own businesses or going to school, and you don't want to be a business man. That's okay. You don't have to be, but you have to be smart. You have to understand the lottery ticket that you were given, that you have earned, that could be taken away. I think it's also fair to say, who is the one putting who in bad situations? Is it group? Is it the friends? Or is it Ja? I don't know. These are all things that I'm wondering, because at the end of the day, we're all basketball fans. We all want to see Ja Morant against the other great players in the NBA. But you can't do that if you're suspended, you hurt yourself, or God forbid, you hurt somebody else. It's a tough situation. We want to know your thoughts on Ja Morant being suspended, the craziness of him going to like a self-help rehab and took 8 days. He was done in 2. Just the farce that was to see him just get to the NBA playoffs. And I think that's also something, too, that the NBA has to look at itself in the mirror. The NBA and the Memphis Grizzlies. How complicit are they going to be on either the growth or destruction of this young man? We want to know your thoughts. Make sure you check out our friends over at Sheets and Giggles. There's no bad decisions over there. Check them out. They have amazing bedding and sheeting and mattressing. It is just so beautiful, and it feels so good on your skin come this summer season. Sheetsandgiggles.com. Use the promo code The Sports Cubicle, sports from the couch, for 15% off your purchase. We're on Twitter at Sports Cubicle TV. For the marvelous one, Dan Marver, for Devin Tingle, for Paul Chivari, I'm Mike Mercado.